and welcome to my channel, Fred Makes Things, and our review video for box 14 for the Hooks and Needles crochet box. If you're curious about the unboxing, I'll link it here for you so you can go check that out. But as far as this video goes, we're doing it in 4 parts. Part 1 is who is Hooks and Needles and what came in the box. Part 2 is looking at the projects themselves. Part 3 is pros, cons, and user error. And then part 4 is final thoughts and sign off. Timestamps are on the screen, in the description box, and as chapters in the video. So if there's a certain section that you're most curious about, do feel free to use those timestamps. Before we get started, I have 2 things to say. The first is hello everybody. Hello to the new subscribers, the OGs, anyone in between. Hello to the people who are curious about hooks and needles and have clicked on this box or this video, and to anyone else who might still be watching. You are also very much welcome, and your kind and thoughtful comments are always appreciated in the comment section. Yes, Junior heard me talking, came from a dead sleep to hang out in the video. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is that this is going to be the final Hooks and Needles discussion on this channel. A couple of weeks ago, a video came out talking about doing a deep dive into Hooks and Needles, talking about the company, the origins, some of the ethics about the company, the fact that the company owns this box, Mrs. Quilty, and this month's crafts, or my monthly craft, or something like that. And I thought Mrs. Quilty seemed a little suspect to me, so I'd never really bought their subscription box. It seemed that Mrs. Quilty was really doing a lot of like kind of AI marketing kind of stuff, showing patterns that just really can't be replicated, trying to sell their stuff. I had been curious about this month's craft, my monthly craft. I'll double check to make sure I know which one I'm talking about, but I'd been curious about it but hesitant to pull the trigger. And then when I found out that all 3 of them were affiliated with each other, it kind of started to seal the fate for Hooks and Needles. The biggest blow, though, was in that video. The person talked about how some of the patterns that are found in these boxes are stolen patterns from small creators. He gave 3 examples, said there were more of them. And I can't stand behind a company who does that. I'm a big fan of ethics, of being honest. And like, I understand companies don't have morals. Big companies don't have morals. It's just not something that I can stand by. So I'm doing this video to kind of round out everything. If you're curious about what Chris has to say, I'll link his video here on the screen, and I'll also put it in the description box as well. He was not the only reason I made the decision not to continue with Hooks and Needles, but he was like, his video really helped me cement the choice to not do these boxes on my channel anymore. So yeah, let's get into part 1. Who is Hooks and Needles and what came in the box? So Hooks and Needles is a monthly subscription box company that sends you patterns and yarn to make 3 different projects. For the crochet box anyway. I'm sure the knit box is the same, and they just launched an amigurumi box, and I have no idea what is going on with that. Pricing is on the screen for you, but I believe it's about $35 a month. And they also sometimes, well, they always include bonus items for you as well. Most of the time they're crochet like tools and stuff. Sometimes they are not. And I was gonna say something else. These boxes are a curated box. Everybody starts with box 1, then they get box 2, and so on and so forth. So it doesn't matter when you start your subscription, you always start with the same box. And then as you progress through the project or through the months, they give you boxes in order. So this is talking box 14. Yeah, let's take a look inside. So like I said, inside every box, you get 3 patterns. They call it a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced, but anybody who has any sort of confidence in crocheting, understands how to like make basic stitches and stuff like that, can get all 3 of them completed. In this box, we got 3 skeins of yarn. We got 2 of this blue color here, and 1 of this gray color here, gray-green color, right? I think they call it like something olive. This blue isn't the color that they say it is, though. So this is the yarn that it is. It's called Frosted Garden. It's 70% mulesing free wool, 15% alpaca, 15% yak, made in Italy. We got 50 grams each of the 3 colors, and it's like kind of like a thicker, fun kind of yarn. I don't know what the gauge is. They say use a 4 to 4.5 millimeter hook, but it feels nice. It was nice to work with. It's machine wash only. Don't dry it. Lay flat to dry. Yada yada yada. If you're curious what mulesing is, I did look that up in the last video. It's basically something that they do to lambs to avoid fly strike and getting their bodies infected, but it is on the cruelty side of things rather than the cruelty-free side of things, and is largely unnecessary now. So mulesing free wool just means that the animals weren't subjected to that one procedure. That is pretty horrifying. The other thing that came in here were these 2 enamel pins. We have like a little magic circle, magic ring, magic circle with a crochet hook. And then we have a yarn ball. That's the crochet queen. Now to quickly look at the patterns. We got 3 patterns in this book. The first pattern, the beginner pattern, was a really cool looking scarf. The second pattern was this frosted petal headband. And then the third pattern was this alpine stitch beanie. All 3 of them kind of, I shouldn't say all 3. I like the idea of the scarf. I like the idea of the beanie. I was okay with the idea of the headband, but we'll talk about that in a second. They also have, like always, some kind of articles and stuff in here to talk about like different things. Some of them are more helpful than others, but yeah, the colors they said were light olive and light gray, and I guarantee you that this is not a light gray. They called it 02 and 03, and I have a 004 and a 002. So I did get the olive, but I got a different yarn for the second one. But yeah, let's talk part 2. Taking a look at the project. So project 1 was a scarf. I made it. I made it using the gauge that they suggested you use, which was a 4mm hook, I believe. Yeah. And I crochet tight. Things always come out too small for me. I thought about sizing up in the hook, but when I gauged this with the crochet hook, I thought, oh, I'm actually pretty close, that I can get away with keeping the 4mm hook, and I couldn't. It's 10 inches too short. And 2 inches, like it's 10 inches too short in the length, 2 inches too short in the width, and even if I were to try to block it, I would never get it blocked wide enough for it to work. They wanted us to add fringe and stuff to it. I haven't done that yet because I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it, but part of it was just like leaving your ends free, right, to work into a fringe. This side, I kind of started to end up going in a little bit, and then I corrected and started coming back out again. So these interior rows are a little bit short. And if you look here, there's a good chance that I dropped some stitches when I was first chaining things together. But yeah, this looks complicated, but it is actually a really cool way of doing your stitches. So you basically, this whole pattern is you single crochet 1, chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet for your base layer. Then when you bring in your next layer, you single crochet in your chain space, chain 1, single crochet in your next chain space, chain 1. So you're kind of like interleaving the two things. And when you do that with two different colors, you end up getting this really, really cool kind of polka dot pattern. I don't know what you would call this, but it looks so cool. I really like the technique that they used on this. Like, I think it just looks so, so neat. And it's just single crochets. I believe it's single crochets. Yeah, it's all just single crochets. I think that if my colors were closer to the colors that they have on the photo, I would have like this really cool kind of look to mine as well. But I still think it's pretty cool. It is on the short side. You could wear it around your neck and like tuck it into like a sweater or into like a jacket or something. You wouldn't be able to do like a double like wrap it around your neck kind of situation, kind of like a fancy businessman or something. So here's a picture of it on my mannequin upstairs for you to kind of see how long it actually is. It is not as big as it should be. They said 4mm. If I were to remake this, which I think I might because I do like the pattern a lot, is I would gauge up to a 5mm hook. And you'll see why in a second. But I would definitely go up a hook size. So let's move baby cat. But yeah, I think it, like, the technique was kind of cool, and I like the final outcome of it. It's just too small for me. I will probably give it away. Someone might like a short little scarf. Project 2 is incomplete. So project 2, to come back to it, was a frosted petal headband. And so basically the headband itself is just half double crochets done over and over again to make a headband. I gauged up to a 5 for this, and it's a little too big to be a headband that fits me. And also, I didn't want to waste the yarn on a project I didn't care about. So the headband is just half double crochets. I think 6 or 7 rows of half double crochets. 8 rows of double crochets. I did 2.5 and called it quits. But the flower is what I was really curious about. And so I did make the flower out of this olivey gray color. And it's a really cool, again, I've never made anything like this before. So it was kind of a cool way to figure, or like learn this technique of doing like three-dimensional flowers with it. And so I did make the flower, and I do think the flower is pretty cute. And when you sew it down, right, you can really like focus on sewing it down and making those petals really pop, really look pretty. So this will make its appearance on some future project, I'm sure. Like I'll end up doing something with it. But I just wanted to show you the flower. It's 6 petals. First around, it's all done in the exact same way. So you do like a certain pattern of single crochet, double crochet, single crochet. Then you do a layer where you do just chaining in the back, and then you build your next petals. Same pattern as the top one, but you just add double crochet in the middle. Then you chain again, and then you do more. And so it's really cool how you build it up. So that's all I can show you with the second project. And now the third project I'm most proud of. And that is this hat, a toque, if you're Canadian. The Alpine Stitch beanie. I did not have enough yarn to make this in the size that it needed to be. I did gauge up to a size 5mm hook to make this. Here's the exterior. Here's the interior. And yeah, I thought it turned out really cool. So what we did with this is we made the ribbing first. Then we started it on here. And how we ended up getting this really cool texture is we did fan stitches on one side. And then on the other side, we decreased our stitches. Doing a back post, or back post. Back post, double crochets. So doing front post or back, doing fan stitches like that, right? Fan stitches on the back post, double crochet on the back, something like that. You end up with this really cool textured pattern. So I followed the pattern, like I said, I gauged up. I followed the pattern all the way up to here. Then I switched to this other purple that I had. Didn't quite have enough to finish. I guess it's more mauve. And then finished with the purple on the top. This here. This wool, I believe, is from box 2. And it is also mule sing free merino wool. I believe it's from Italy. It could be from Portugal, but it's box 2 yarn. So I used up all of what I had left of the mauve color, and this is all I have left of the purple. And what I'm thinking of doing is taking this and turning it into a pom-pom for the top. Like, I think that would look really cool. So yeah, that's this. Here it is on my little hat stand for you, so you can kind of see how it sits, how it looks. It fits my head, which is really cool. And all I did was have to size up. I did all of the exact same things that the instructions said to do, just used a bigger gauge or hook. So yeah, I guess we're on to part 3, pros, cons, and user error. Pro, I like the techniques in these two projects. I think that, like, if you do 2 colors really close together in this, I think you'd have a really cool a really cool look to it, like a really cool pattern form. I really like this. I really like the texture in this. I really like the look of the way that the pattern works, how the texture comes together, of the general shape of these stitches. Yeah, the pattern was pretty easy to follow. I didn't have to go to any outside sources, and they worked up really, really well. I like the flower too, but can't really say much about like the headband piece because, like I said, it's just half double crochet. So it kind of makes me sad that as we get further and further into these boxes, I start liking the projects more and more and more. But if allegations are true and what we've been seeing in some of these videos now, there's a good chance that if you looked on the internet, you could find a creator who made something very similar or even a free pattern. Because yeah, some of these things are not that hard to find, I wouldn't think. So cons. Well, there are really no cons to the patterns themselves. They all wrote up nice. They all worked up nice. The wool feels pretty nice. Everything about this box is a pretty decent box. User error. The only real user error is that I made this too small. And by the time that I caught it, if I went back to fix it, I would have lost a lot of this yarn because you cut it off, right, as you go along. So you don't cut enough to like add an extra 10 inches or so to it, 5 inches, 8 inches to it. And so by the time that I realized it was going to be too small, there really wasn't anything that I could do to go back and fix it. But I think that's about it. Final thoughts, I guess. Final thoughts and sign off. I am sad that a company that I was starting to like, that boxes that I was starting to enjoy, have been shown to be as like unethical as they are. There had been red flags that we've talked about in the past. I don't like their marketing strategy. I don't like their act now or it's gone kind of panic pricing that they do. They did. That's not as much popular. I really didn't like how their marketing, like I didn't like the way that they marketed it on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere else that I saw their boxes pop up. I had comments from some people, especially early on, telling me that their customer service was absolutely horrendous. And I honestly didn't like some of the projects, especially in the early boxes. I really didn't like some of the early box projects. I thought they were kind of stupid and a waste of yarn. And I just didn't like that they weren't very transparent. But now with the allegations of them stealing patterns, I can't continue working with them. I never worked with them. I can't continue supporting them. So even though these projects turned out well, and I'm probably going to use these techniques in the future, I'll probably remake this scarf in the future to actually fit me. I just can't support the company anymore. So yeah, probably, in my opinion, the best box I've had from Hooks and Needles, project-wise, is going to be my last. There was also a peanut butter bar recipe in here, but it called for a lot of ingredients that I didn't have and that I wasn't going to go out of my way and pick up. Like they wanted us to have a cup of natural peanut butter, no added sugar or oil. I'm not doing that. A quarter cup of pure maple syrup or honey. I would have done honey. A cup of oat flour or finely blended rolled oats. I have regular oats. I wasn't going to go out and buy oat flour or blend rolled oats. A cup of dark chocolate chips, 70% cacao or higher. I have regular chocolate chips, not dark. A teaspoon of coconut oil. I don't have coconut oil. And a pinch of sea salt for garnish. I do have that. So I wasn't going to go out and make it. Susan, one of my subscribers, sent me a no-bake peanut butter bar thing that looks more interesting. So when I have a minute to make something in the kitchen, I'll probably be making hers over that recipe, because I wasn't going to go out and waste money on items that I may only use one time. So yeah, I guess those are my thoughts on this box. Good box, or good projects. Nice feeling yarn. Too bad I can't trust in the company. So what do you think? Do you get hooks and needles? Did you get hooks and needles? Have you seen these accusation videos? How are you feeling about everything in general? How are you liking the projects that I made this month? Any and all thoughts are welcome in the comments section. So what do we have coming up? Monday is going to be the beginning or the continuation of Mary Maxim Mondays. Basically all of October there's going to be a Mary Maxim video on a Monday. So this coming Monday is our project unboxing video for September. It did come in September. It was unboxed maybe at the end of September or early October. I don't remember. It's already filmed. The Monday after that is going to be our 6-month, or the Monday after that is going to be a Mary Maxim haul kind of video that I'm going to film right after I'm done filming this one. The Monday after that is our 6-month, 7-month review of Mary Maxim's Crochet Club of the Month. And then the Monday after that is going to be a project review for the October box. So it's Mary Maxim Monday for all of October. This coming Wednesday is going to be part 1 of a 2-part tutorial video series. Part 1 is going to be preparing to make the project. Part 2 is going to be making the project. So I'm trying that out on my channel because right, we don't have certain boxes to unbox anymore. And then the following week, like I said, Mary Maxim on Monday, quilt update on Wednesday, and then I don't know what Friday is going to be. So if any of that interests you, do think about subscribing. Like the video if you've made it to the end. Like the video if you like me, even if you may not like hooks and needles. And yeah, with all of that being said, I'm going to say thank you so much for watching, and I will talk with you again soon. Bye!